Back, we're gonna do a couple runs, a much awaited and a much asked for video. You guys have been asking, build me a sub build. All right, subsidy build, here we go. First, we're gonna demonstrate what I have found versus what is currently being used by me. I am using, of course, the outlaw set, which is what we're going with right now. Here's outlaw. Here are the talents. Not a lot has changed with it. If anything, I'll probably stack another point in here, etc. So further ado, we're just going to go ahead and go into our town hall. Let's see, events, training grounds. All right, we're going to go ahead and just get started with as much damage as one can be dealt. Oh, there is not a damage meter. What is that garbage? I guess we'll just rank this by how many chests I can get. I suppose so. I've been doing this for the dungeon run, and I thought this would be easier, but we will see. We'll just rank it by the chests, because when I was doing the layout, I have tried out 13 different sub builds, removing, adding, etc. So with all of that, I've come up with 823k DPS damage in the heroic run dungeon there. So with that, we're going to stack out 1 minute on each one. Hey, brother. My brother up there. Real life brother. Carvel. Not his real name, but character name. Anywho, 36. Alright, so we're going to stop at 200. Oh, there we go. Alright, DPS. We got 2,400,000. So we're just going to write that down. Alright. And we're going to go and switch our builds, skills, my set, we're going to switch, and this is the best build I can come up with. Events, challenge, and so got a pretty good number last time. We'll see what we get on this one. Got 22 chests, I believe it was. We'll see on the recording anyway. Alright, so let's see what we get with here. Yes, I have Swift on there as the best option, not for what it actually does, but for the bonus it gives you, a 45 haste. So that's the reason why it's on there, if you're wondering why haste is part of the build. So we'll just see what this 1 minute brings us. As you can already tell, that there is a drastic difference in the DPS damage, but this is one of the best builds I can come up with. And of course, we are going to be speculating that the dungeon has more random sporadic monsters, which gives these knife throws more DPS as a single boss. So as a single boss, we're going to get 2.7804, so roughly 200k damage. And we're going to go through our heroic run here, and we're going to go through the DPS sub build. We're just going to go ahead and start that, ready it, and go. Alright, so this particular run will go through a sub run. This sub run shouldn't take too long, and if anything, I'll just probably enter this into a video format that will hopefully just rapidly speed through this, but I think that would be boring, so we'll see. We'll see how long this takes to go through each run. But while we're doing that, we have our setup right here. Talent tree. Now this could use a little sprucing up, but I'm sure what I went with is DPS, not damage reduction, because a rogue won't mostly be hit in a dungeon. So this is what I came up with. I have messed around with this a lot. I thought about going here in a couple areas, but I digress. With this is what I have come up with. And so far, this damage scale does have the rogue at 166k damage, and this is including the extra monsters that are all around you that do have that knife throw damage that does do nice DPS to all the other monsters that are around. So we're gonna let that do its thing. We're gonna go over the spec as well. All right, so we didn't go with any dodge because we're trying to do as much output damage as possible. Alright, so we didn't go down the tree here. The exposed weakness would be nice, but that's entering stealth. This consumes and exposed weaknesses 10 to armor, which is really nice. I'd like to get a couple more points into this. I think at around 50 or so, this would be a lot more viable build, but right now, it is not doing so well as far as combat and DPS going. Now, if anything, I thought about throwing some slaps in there for stuns, but that's not really doing the DPS run. So this is what we have going on. A couple more points could go into Shadow Strike. Let me just go back to the battle, get to the next area, because we do have one other run to do with this outlaw to kind of show you the difference. Usually I hit about 1.1, 1.2 million DPS on my outlaw skill build tree. With this subsidy build is the best I could come up with, to trying 13 different builds and lining them up in different orders and different rhythms here. And this is what I've come up with. So I do hope you appreciate the people who've really requested a subsidy build. Here's your subsidy build. Now I do recommend getting this maxed out and this maxed out. Get that maxed out, and of course we're going to go with this getting maxed out as well, but that doesn't happen until 45. So you will essentially have let's say 40 points in your stats. So you're going to have another 8 points to work with here, okay? So 8 points is going to go a long ways with this build. It's going to increase it dramatically. Got 2 here, 5, 6, 7. Got 7 points you can spend that will drastically help your build with this particular subsidy build, which I think will increase the DPS by a large portion. We're sitting at 576k damage for your subsidy build. Again, subsidy is not the best build to go with, but a lot of people do love it and do like it because of the skins. The skin that's provided is a fiery, nice elf there, so a lot of people do like that skin and try to make this build work, because of course you get bonus, damage bonus, and everything under the moon with that. Oh, that goes along with that. So as we can tell here, we're getting past 660 right now. We're hitting up to 700, and the max build I've gotten with other builds is 760k with other builds, and as low as 600k damage. So we're hoping to hit around the 800k mark, which is the new benchmark that I have come up with the subsidy build. I have even entered in this build into ChatGPT, and it couldn't come up with anything better. However, it tried to pull my own YouTube videos for me to reference, which is hilarious. I did like that. It was enjoyable. All right, so 801k damage. All right, that's a pretty good hit there. We don't really care about the other chests except for that one. Maybe a legendary leave. All right, charge my phone, who cares? All right, so we're gonna go through our skill, and my stats switch. All right, and go to heroic, form team. All right, and start, go. All right, so 800k is what we got on that run. 800k, 801 to be specific, and that was with me respecking, redoing skills, figuring out their stat points. And what did I mean by the skill boost of haste? All right, Swift gives you a 45 haste and a 45 to crit. All right, there's not a lot of other things you can add to this build other than hemorrhage. Hemorrhage is a good skill. I'm not going to take that away. Gives you 100 agility and an agility buff bonus, which is really, really good. Let's get make sure we're running to the next team. So as you can tell, our last build we had about 165 as well. So we're going to see where this ends, because we'll see. We'll just see where this ends. Anyway, so let's go over more of the stat build here. You're going to want to go a little bit more here and here, because you're going to, again, have more stats. Ambush is not something that you're really going to go with, but it does have that Vortex Blade and the Gouge and Sinister Strike bonus buff that you're going to want to go with. You would want to proc that chance a little higher. We would want to go that, because, again, you're going to have 8 points that you got to use. So you got 1 here. You're going to go 3, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you got 8 there. that would dramatically increase your stuff here. And you're going to want your Blade Fury. So you're going to have to pick a little bit of what you're wanting to go with, the direction. But if anything, I would head down to here to get your Blade Fury and your Sinister Strike and your Vortex a little higher. Alright, next team here. We're already about 400k. So we'll see what this ends up. I still have the plans for the auction house video. I apologize. I get DM'd a lot about a subsidy build. And since you guys are really requesting a subsidy build, and auction house doesn't take a lot of priority in buying cheap items, basically the bottom of the line is you don't want to spend more than 250 gems, real gems, on an item. Because when you sell that item, you can only get a maximum of 300 gems for that item in your run, depending on your legendary drop, depending on what you're buying or reselling. If you buy it in the dungeon for X amount of price, you won't get more than that amount of real gems. So keep that in mind when you go to sell something. Alright, we're just heading out to the next one, next boss. And we might just break even. We got 600k coming up over here on our outlaw build. So we'll see where we go with this. Alright. But on single base damage, it does a lot more. Alright, let's see. Inefficient energy. Gotta get that energy build up higher with my trinkets. But he's not a main, so he's not very important to me. Alright, about to hit 750k with 30% left. He's doing a little low from the previous runs I've had. Let's see, maybe we'll break even. Maybe we'll actually have a subsidy build that does, in fact, deal just about the same damage. Oh, okay. Look at us go. Maybe we just had a bad run. I'm not entirely sure, but it looks like we did end up tying with the subsidy build, which is not bad. That's actually pretty darn good. If you're looking through all the equations, trying to find something that works, this works. And this new subsidy build that I kind of just tinkered around with, this does work. It's just the best I can come up with. If you find something better, hey, congrats. Use this as a reference point on where we were at and what we can do. I'm sure entering more talent points in different areas will increase your DPS or lower it. So we're going to go ahead and switch back to our subsidy build so you guys can take another quick look at this. Alright, so this is our subsidy build lineup. This doesn't matter where it's at because of the 200-second cooldown. So you can put that wherever you want. You can even just do this number here if you really want it. Yeah. So if that's how you want it, that's fine because of the cooldown timer. That's also more efficient. However you want it, it doesn't matter because it takes 2 minutes to reproc that skill. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you're wondering, yes, my armor is at 60 attributes enhancement. So that's where he's at with his armor level up for equipment wise. Alright guys, again, thanks for watching the video. This is your subsidy build. I hope you enjoyed this tinkering around. So enjoy the sub build.